Hello, hello, guys. We are back with hopefully the last part of this small series of reaction video to Asmongold about Ashes of Creation. Hopefully, the last part 4. last last video that I just uploaded. Part 3, the program shut down at 1 hour 17 minutes. Now I know the marker. It will be probably around the same time, 1 hour 17, 18 minutes. So probably I'm just gonna shut down videos now from now on. 1 hour and 10 minutes. Now we know the limitations of the system, we can keep going. Probably be the next video I'll do a reaction video about Asmongold videos of 3.5 hours. Damn crazy, bro. Can't be doing this. So that apart, let's keep going, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this small series of reaction. Um, I intend to bring a little bit more like this. I like to do this. I'll probably do this with podcasts too. I like to watch some podcasts around those on the top. Will be some like Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson sometimes, and other ones that I can't remember the name. Sorry, but yeah, yeah. Let's keep going. I don't think this will take another hour. Hopefully not. I was. It looks like it will not. Uh, it probably will. Let's go. Who cares?
Tenets that I think are most important when it comes to actually bringing in an MMORPG to today's market that I think a lot of developments and a lot of publishers are still getting wrong.
Oh yeah, of course.
And we can be supportive of each other. The tribalism doesn't need to exist. A game doesn't need to call to you aesthetically, visually, or mechanically in order for you to say, "Hey, I wish that game does well.
Yeah,
I
sure.
wish that that game finds an audience."
I think a lot of people, well, the reason why I think a lot of people do it is that they, and this is especially true with gacha games, is like they're terrified of their gacha game going end of service and like all of their waifus going into the void, right? And like it's the same thing with MMOs where it's like, well, I don't want to have this game die because this item that I spent 1,000 hours farming isn't going to matter anymore. I think that's the real reason why you see a lot of
cost
tribals.
fallacy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yes. No, I mean, you're 100% correct. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to speak to the better part of humanity, which is different than that. Hey, look, you may have a sunk cost, but in order for that sunk cost to feel better, there can be something else on the horizon for you to move to. And those things will be less if you shit on them.
Yeah, sure.
Like there will be less opportunity if you shit on it. The reason why people say the MMORPG genre is a dying genre is in part our own culpability. We as an audience have some level of responsibility to be supportive of the people who are trying to push the bounds. And I'm not saying for people to come and support me. I will do this on my own. Okay, that is okay. You can watch, and when the game comes out, if it's for you, please come and join us.
Yeah.
But we can still be supportive of each other, and it doesn't need to be a light a match and stroke the fire because you get some views.
No, there it is. Well, hopefully, I mean,
Yeah, he's right. He's 100% right over there, man. As long as we keep going and supporting the genre that we enjoyed, that would be like something like COD or something like Warframe side of things, or even Ashes of Creations or Eternal Liberty or whatever game it is. As long as us players keep supporting the good ideas of the genre that we want and don't support the bad ones. For example, um, nowadays every single game has seasons, not seasons, battle pass. That's an awful idea, but we do it. Players buy that shit. That's the most stupid idea I ever heard. Battle pass. Come, come join on our battle pass. For example, the game I'm playing right now, the first Descendant. I didn't buy the battle pass. I don't care about that, you know. And if players got together and didn't buy any of those things, developers are just gonna give that for free. Yeah, it's kind of scary. What we can do if we work together, but humans are not know by of working together. Well, unless something really bad happens. If not, in time of peace, no, forget it.
I think that I agree with you there. I mean, I feel like that's why I wanted to have the conversation with like you and also Narc, is because I feel like at the end of the day, almost everybody really does want the same thing. And so it's like, why is there this much animosity and hostility over people that effectively agree with each other?
Asmongold, just look on your shit and you will understand.
It's a very, very weird dynamic, right? And so I do hope that, like, you know, more honest conversations like this and everything do really kind of help people get that better understanding.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Hey, look, it's Thor.
Yeah,
we found Thor.
There is the guy. Oh shit,
he's flying around on his little Thunderwing.
Oh, he's got a flying mount too.
He's a mayor. He's a mayor of one of the nodes.
There you go.
So
there you go. There you go. That's a nice mount too.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's a sweet mount.
Well, look, man, I really appreciate you coming on and talking with it, and just like giving everybody a just like straight up like no bullshit version of like what's really going on. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate your
Absolutely.
audience too.
Yep, for
Hope
sure.
you guys have a nice new year, and we'll see you at some point in the alpha. If you want to play, let me know. I'll run around with you. We can game. We get a group together.
Okay.
Try it out, brother.
All right, man. I'll keep it in mind. I'll have to download it whenever I'm not streaming, and that way it won't DDoS me. So I'll see you later.
Later.
All right, peace. I need to use the bathroom again. Give me a minute. Yeah. So man, wow, what a day. What a day. What a day, to be honest. I think that is exactly what I would say. What a day. What a fucking day. Man, that is crazy. Oh my fucking god.
Let me say, what a fucking video, bro. 3 hours and a half. You're crazy, man.
Amazing stream. Yeah. Baited Steven to show.
And I'm thinking I'm even crazier actually watching this in the street, like without stopping. Well, I had to stop to upload the videos and go into the bedroom, but pretty much it's what I've been doing for the last 2 hours and 59 minutes.
The entire game? Yeah, I guess so. But man, I've been cooking. Yeah, I mean, well, the reason I wanted to get Steven on is that like at the end of the day, I mean, I can't really, you know, I don't make the game. Like, I'm not, like, if I say like, yeah, this is what I think they're doing, like, people are gonna say that it's copium, but you know, I do feel like that pretty much explains it, right? Yeah, thanks for being Steven on. You're knowledgeable game tech too. I try to be. I talk to Pirate. I might do that at some point. I think it'd be good to like just get everybody together and talk about it. Like, I don't want to have like people forcing content or anything, but like, yeah, no, I'd definitely be down to talk to them at some point. Especially, are you an investor? No, I've said this. I will say it again. I will be absolutely clear. I have no financial investment in Ashes of Creation. I have zero. No. Yep, absolutely not.
I believe.
Yeah, there was not a misunderstanding. Yeah. He said he's down to talk. Yeah. Let me see. What's the best way to do? Thor said call him. Okay, I don't know if I have him on Discord. What's gonna do? Yeah, give me 1 second.
I'll give you, but I'll skip ahead, bro.
Watch. Yeah. Yeah. Let him know. I don't want to talk for like. Let me just. I'll DM him on Twitter, and I will. Yeah. Didn't work. Okay. Okay. I just DM'd him. Okay. Let's see here. The drama caught was hilarious. Hey, look, guys. Look, I try to bring it. I try to make the content. What can I say? You know, we try to have a show. We try to put on a
You
show.
definitely have. I can't believe
That's
I
the way it is. Replying on Twitter. Okay. Give me 1 second.
This stream, bro.
Okay, yeah, he's gonna add me. All right, great.
It's kind of good because I managed to actually do this cool videos for the channel too. But yeah, I don't think I actually said this in the last video, the part 3, or maybe I said. But yeah, go on his channel, Twitch, subscribe to the dude. He's an amazing Twitch streamer and content creator, Asmongold. I don't think he has his same name on Twitch, but if you guys actually want his Twitch account, just let me know in the comments, and I'll bring a video or something with his link for his Twitch. Okay, guys? Yeah, let's keep going.
Oh, I think you got both perspectives? Yeah, of course. I mean, like, yeah, 100%. Okay. And... all right. Okay, he's good. All right, let me call Thor. Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I was just wiping into a world boss.
Oh, boy, yeah. In that dungeon?
Oh, yeah, so stupid, dude. I pulled extra mobs because I'm a dumbass. It was great.
How is it, dude? I've been seeing you playing this game, like, non-stop.
Yeah, I think in Alpha 2 Phase 1, I had about 400 hours, and I think in Phase 2, I'm over 100 hours now. So
wow.
I've just been having a blast in it. I think the thing is I got back into hardcore classic World of Warcraft recently.
I think I know this voice. I remember from where.
because I'm doing the OnlyFans stuff. And it really kind of got me into that mood of like, I want to play a game where you don't level to 60 instantly, where you don't get max level immediately, where you don't get everything handed to you. And I got into this and I was like, okay, it's going to be an alpha. It's probably going to suck. And the first like 2 weeks, it was a mess, man. Like, because it's an alpha. Like,
well, you remember, like, I
like,
tried to log on. That was was a bad day, man.
Oh, yeah. No, it's wild. But like, the thing that got me was like, I was like, okay, I got my key back in 2021, like a while ago.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting for this and they finally brought this
so
thing.
you
Like,
played
okay.
the first alpha too, right?
I actually didn't end up playing the first alpha because I got an alpha 2 key back then.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't end up getting to play the first alpha. And like, I got into it and I was like, okay, this is really rough. I'm a bit worried. And within a month, everything in the game had changed. They'd fixed all the server performance issues. Like the game was actually playable, and we stopped worrying about like, is the game playable, and started worrying about strategizing,
playing the game
to compete with other players. And I was like, this is really good. And then once phase 2 started, we were like, okay, let's get into phase 2. I wonder what they've added. And they expanded the map into the desert, and there's 3 new nodes there, and everybody got wiped. But the economic changes have been pretty massive because you have 3 whole new zones. You got like 30% more of a map, right?
Okay, yeah.
So like it's been
like
fun and
like
interesting.
resource
And they added this
spread,
dungeon,
etc.
Yeah. And they started adding these dungeons too. Like we've got that dungeon that he showed you, and
Yeah.
then we've got like more Tower of Carfin now and Grave Peak. So there's 3 like major endgame areas right now that are hard. They're like 16-man open world dungeons.
Oh wow.
You have to do.
So you need to bring in 16 people to even make it happen.
Yeah, if you do it with 8, it's possible, but the bosses they're going to beat you.
Do they scale?
Especially the final one. They don't scale. No, they're just really hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
there's no scaling or anything like that. But if you're over leveling over the monsters, they don't drop loot. So like it's not going to allow max level players to come back and just like farm that boss so you never get into it.
Yeah.
Like it is good for the time that it's good.
So what did you think about, like, obviously I'm sure a lot of people had, were bringing up Narc's video and like this whole discourse of like what's going on, and I'm really curious like what your take on all of it is, because like I mean you have way more experience than I do with like development and like software development especially, right? And so like how do you feel like the way that Narc approached
I already
Ash
know who it is. Okay, I already know who it is. Okay.
is like, how much of that do you think is like accurate, is like a fan, or like kind of like where are you coming from with that?
I think the biggest thing is it looks like he felt like he got burned pretty early on and has been upset for a while, and that's kind of snowballed, right? If that makes sense. But
yeah, it's what I think too.
This video didn't make a lot of sense to me as a player because I've been following all the communication. I've been seeing all the things they're doing and seeing the throughput that they have for these updates.
Yeah.
And they've been really communicative. Like here, I've sent you the roadmap that they sent out. Like they're really granular.
I knew it was this guy, man. I knew it was this guy, man. I can't believe it, bro. I forgot his name, man. I knew it was this dude, bro. This is dope. I can't believe I actually missed this stream, bro. I'm kind of sad now, but it is what it is, man. We're doing this now. This is amazing.
Around this thing, man. Like they show all the pictures of what they're going to do. They have breakdowns for all of it, videos for everything they're doing, and they've kept to this. And if they have to push it, which they've done a couple times, they're like, hey guys, we're pushing this. Or like one of the things they did recently is they're like, hey, we're pushing some of the content, but we're making it so the game is 24/7 playable until January 6th. So like all through Christmas break, we had no breaks in server uptime. We just been playing every day. And like that's stuff that's just completely unexpected, legitimately. Most of the time when you interact with devs, especially for like AAA or anything like that, you don't get to have a conversation.
Well, you can see why. I think the worst part about it is the fact that like you're totally right, and I think this is the reason why. It's because a lot of them are gun shy because they don't want to come out and have an opinion about something, and then somehow things change, the release doesn't happen when you think it should, and then before you know it, now you're a fucking liar.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too is like people get so upset about that, and then the dev has to pull back because they've got investors or some shit, and they piss off the investors, and they're afraid to say anything, and then the players think that they're being abandoned or being ignored. But like we have an opportunity finally to have an MMO where you don't have it.
It's like I said before, man. The only thing that keeps me away from this game is actually the price. I don't agree with the price. But what I've been watching on YouTube about Ashes of Creation, it's been pretty good. It's just I don't go with that price. 110, man. It's off the charge. If it was like around the same price range from other games, like subscriptions for like what's the name of that game? Final Fantasy 14, man. It's like $20 or $30. If it was the same, yeah, like the dudes actually said, the Steve actually said, we made this price for in order for short the amount of people that actually was gonna step in. So, for example, they don't have me because I don't want to step in because of the price range. I don't agree, but I'm into the game. I'm not playing, but I keep following what the game is doing, the roadmap, what the updates they bring, and everything. It gets to the point. If they release the game, I'm gonna buy the game. Right now I just don't agree with that price range. It's just that. But yeah,
investors, like he's bankrolling this shit himself, right? And you get to talk to the dev, like he's the game director. You can just be like, I think this sucks, and be like, let's have a talk about that.
Exactly.
He shows up in the Reddit all the time. Like you get to talk to the dev, like he's the game.
They already realized it. They changed the opinions, Narc lights, really? They already changed the opinion. They see more people coming and seeing the Narc actually misleading people. yeah, they keep changing their opinion. You know, you could see in this video, he was at the edge of the map, 45 angle degree, not showing what there was in his bag. Man, come on.
Director. You can just be like, I think this sucks, and be like, let's have a talk about that.
Exactly.
It shows up in the Reddit all the
Yet, saying that, I still saw some validation points on Narc talking with Asmongold, but yet, even with some of his point of views, or a work okay to have, but he could have just jump off, you know.
time.
It
Like,
is
actually
what
responds.
it is what it is. But let's keep going, guys.
Like,
Well, you know who
this
else
is the
does
shit
that is Chris Wilson.
everyone bitches.
I mean, look at
Oh.
in PoE. Like I know you played a little bit of PoE too, right?
Oh, I love PoE.
It's so
Yeah.
good, right?
I'm playing
And so
hardcore
like,
on it, I love
and
it.
they get Chris gets in the trenches. He is on Reddit writing diatribes. He's writing manifestos on Reddit, arguing with people, and like that's real, genuine interaction. And I feel like that's why the game's so good. And so it's so weird to see people that are complaining about that.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing is like we've asked as players for ages just to have a conversation, and finally when you have a conversation, they're getting shit on. And I'm like, dude, you have to be mad about something that's real, right? Like if you're gonna be angry, it's got to be real. It's got to make sense. And like in that video when he showed off the desert, I was like, I know exactly where that is on the map. And I actually showed it off on stream. I was like, I know exactly.
Oh god.
Where that is. He did it during phase 2 alpha, but during like our alpha 2 phase 1, which is before they added everything to the desert.
Right.
That was a month ago. That's it. Like
I think this was on part 2. I'm not 100% sure now, guys, but I think it was part 2 where Narc was actually talking with Asmongold, and he said that when I don't want to say it in the wrong way. Let me think. When we, as players, are going to be allowed to be mad about developers misleading things, and I actually said something along the range of it's the same thing as YouTubers, content creators that misleading people that watch YouTube videos with uh, clickbait thumbnails that are lying and don't have anything to do with the content that the video brings. I'll give an example. For example, you scrolling down on your YouTube feed and you see a thumbnail with a chick on the thumbnail, bikini, red bikini, whatever, and you watch the video, no chick on video. Tons and tons of YouTubers do this. It's misleading. It's a lie. It's disgusting. And when us YouTube viewers, let's say, are allowed to get pissed off with that too, So just because you are mad about developers in the game doing this, but yet you do the same thing on YouTube, come on.
all of the things that you saw in there, that
Can't
whole
be
zone,
doing that.
everything, that was added in a month, man.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the only thing, too. Like, there's tons of stuff they don't even put in the patch notes. Like, we went to go farm in this area. Let me actually put the name of this damn place. Dirigal Estates. We went to go farm there, and we had this room that was just like an empty wooden box that we were farming in during phase 1, and it looked like shit. And we went.
Sorry about that, guys. It's the same reason I don't use any thumbnails, nothing. Whatever YouTube decides the thumbnail is, it goes it. Sometimes I change from the three that are like randomly choice on your video. I pick one of those, but most of the times it is what it is. If people like the video, they will like it. I, why I'm gonna misleading people? Having the chick on the thumbnail and then you come in, it's a dude talking about games or reacting to a video. You're gonna write in a comment, hey, come on, dude, I was expecting chicks.
We went back in there during phase 2.
Cool.
It's like filled with set dressing. There's like mushrooms and stuff all over the walls. Like everything looks incredible, and that's not even in the patch notes. So like every environment got picked up with that. And I remember like when we first walked into Wind and Sea, which is probably the next zone they're gonna be unlocking for this. It was flat and green, and now it's like a tropical beachside with like plants and trees and all kinds of stuff.
So like there's things on the patch notes that are being added in. It's not like every single thing that's stated is being added in. Or like I guess vice versa.
There's things that aren't even in the patch notes that are being added. If you move around.
And then the map is huge, bro. I don't know what people are complaining, man. This map is already big enough for an alpha. God damn. And they already had all of this down here. That's good, man. That's amazing. And I can see the line over here. I think that's the edge of the map. if that's the edge of the map and they can go over them and they still have all of that to go. Yeah, amazing. I can see this edge. Yeah. No, this is not the edge. Maybe the edge is the black one. Maybe the edge is the black one because he's over here. He's outside. Maybe this is like territory thing. I don't know. I don't know.
Around. It sucks because like Nork was a mayor in the game, which means he had a flying mount. He could see all of this.
Yes.
And that video doesn't portray any of it. It shows the opposite. And that was so to me that was like, dude, like what are you doing? Like you know better than that. You know what's going on. You can see it, right?
So what do you think about like, because obviously I think it's been really contentious. A lot of people, at least especially in like YouTube comments, have been really critical about the price tag of the game. And I think that that's where I think a lot of
Forget it. It just got black over there. I don't know what the edge of the map will be. Doesn't look like it has a
criticism
line.
and the frustration
But if yeah, it doesn't look like it has a line. But yeah, it's pretty good for an alpha.
comes from is that people paid money to play the game and the game isn't what they wanted it to be, which is disappointing. I mean, it's understandable, right? I mean, you know, viewers.
Yeah, it is, but just give it time. You just need to give time. Anything right nowadays it takes less time, but anything that humans trying to build, it will take time. You know, it is what it is. You can't just clap your fingers. That's it.
Consumers are going to have the opinions they're going to have, but at the same time, like it's definitely a double-edged sword with charging that much money for a beta because people are going to have that opinion.
Yeah, I think generally, like, especially as players, we're used to an alpha or a beta that's like a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of days. You'll get this all the time from AAA where they're like, hey, you get early access for 3 days for $100 kind of shit. Right?
A marketing tool.
And most of the people, most of the people that come to my chat have that kind of an opinion. They're like, oh, this is going to be like a couple of days, right? And I was like, no. Like, if you look at the roadmap, that key isn't just alpha. It's alpha 2, which we're on right now, all of beta 1, all of beta 2, a month of game time when it launches. That's the next year and a half to 2 years on the roadmap. So like when we're looking at that, if we try to compare that to other offers, right, inside of MMOs, you've got something like World of Warcraft. It's $15 a month. It's $180 a year. And you're doing $110 for 2 years minimum.
So you're looking at it like you're prorating or amortizing the cost of a subscription over the year of content that the beta is going to have, and that's kind of like how you make sense out of it.
For me, that's how I made sense of it as a baseline. And then I got into it being like, okay, this makes sense for me from a purchase perspective, from a consumer perspective. And I got in, and it was more than that, more than what I expected. Because we have things where, like, in the beginning, you could do server performance tests, and the way that you would do that is you just restrict the environment or something like that, make all the players go to that area. The way that they did it is Steven got on, turned into a god, flew around and PvP'd us while RPing it all out and directing all of the players to attack him through the world while they did performance testing in the background. So you have things like this that are just so much more interesting and engaging for the player base in a way that still gets the objective done. And I wouldn't have had that experience had I not jumped in. And that was really interesting to me.
Well, that's one of the best things about alphas and like the early testing periods of games is you have like those weird like random moments, right? I mean, I remember I had a moment where I was in like the wrong place or a place I wasn't supposed to be in like a WoW alpha, and then a GM came and killed me, and it's like I always remember that because like those cool moments are they're totally worth it. They're amazing.
Yeah, I had this moment that was really hilarious. It's like he was actually doing wishes for players, and the way that they do that is like he puts out a riddle in global or something like that, and the first person to solve it, they
Come on, are you telling me you're not listening to this guys talking about this? And what did he say? A second.
Right. I mean, I remember I had a moment where I was in like the wrong place or a place I wasn't supposed to be in like a WoW alpha, and then a GM came and killed me, and it's like I
Come on. Let me take this.
Always remember.
He was looking weird. Come on. See, he has a memory of something that happened to him on Alpha. So that just goes showing that people still can have fun on Alphas, you know? You can not agree with the price range like I am, you know? But if you buy it, you can have fun. That's all the point, you know? And the concept of building something to create something for a game or whatever, for a manga, for a movie, you know, you have the initial idea of the concept and then you have the creation of that concept, and the creation of the concept can change. That what's gonna ramp. Let's say like your plan A, it's not gonna look like the plan B. The final product is gonna be plan B, and your initial concept of the plan is the A. That doesn't mean you're misleading people, you know. You're just creating something for the idea that you have. Of course, it can deviate a little bit from the initial idea, but the meaning point is over there. And yeah, you know, at the end, creating anything is kind of hard.
for that because like those cool moments are they're totally worth it. They're amazing.
Yeah, I had this moment that was really hilarious. It's like he was actually doing wishes for players, and the way that they do that is like he puts out a riddle in global or something like that, and the first person to solve it, they tell him a wish of what they want to have, and then he adds that to the backlog for the game.
Yeah.
And the one for ours is he teleported me to the top of a tower and he gave me a riddle, and I got to solve it. I actually solved it, thankfully. It was the answer was Vera, which is the name of the world, and I wouldn't have gotten it unless I read the wiki, so I got into the lore and everything.
Okay.
And then he gave me a wish, and I said, I want to add ferrets to the video game.
Of
and
course.
he said, okay, we're going to do that. And he hands me a mount and then killed me with lightning. And, and like that was the event. And it was just like, I'm always going to remember that because that shit's hilarious.
Yeah.
Right? And you just have this crazy
That shit was cool. That shit was cool.
moment with this. And it was funny because it wasn't just streamers they were doing this with.
Yeah.
It was just random people in the world. They did it a whole bunch of times across the different servers. And I love that, man. And like, I have not seen that since Vanilla WoW.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything like that.
Well,
that kind of interaction.
I think they're afraid to, and that's the thing. That's what's so disappointing. It's what you were talking about earlier. It's like developers are gun shy to do stuff like this because people can take it out of context or turn it into something that it's not. But the reality is, I think a lot of people really enjoy and appreciate that kind of stuff because it reminds them of times when gaming wasn't as, I don't want to do like this whole like, counterculture, oh, it was corporate and everything. But it did feel like it was more relaxed. And I feel like it takes us back to a time like that. It's very reminiscent of that.
It is, and that's why I like WoW Classic Hardcore so much.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're all out there like role playing our characters, surviving the world, and when you lose someone in hardcore in WoW, it's devastating, right? You could have a dude with like 15 played days on a hardcore character, and he just dies. In the
It's
middle
done.
Of or something like that. It's like, oh god, dude, it's terrifying. And like that kind of experience is in this mostly because the time it took me to level from level 1 to level 25 was about 100 hours.
Jesus.
And that was me optimizing that.
What's the cap now? Is it 25?
It's 25.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 25. So like the plan at launch, I guess, is 50, and they were saying that should take months, if not a year, to do it. And it makes sense because most of what I realized was if you are only focusing on your character level, that's like your adventurer level, your power level, right, for fighting monsters, but professions are outside of that. So they're not restricted by your character level. So one of the things that I've been seeing a lot of is like we have this guy on the server, he just trained up all the things to make mounts, like do animal husbandry and go and hunt out mounts and like build those, and he's like the mount guy on the server. And what he did in phase 1 was he told everyone which towns he was going to be in throughout the day, and he was a traveling mount salesman and just sold them off to people, and it was freaking rad. And he was like level 11, but he was the most sought after player in the game.
Yes,
right?
exactly. It's like instead of this is the best thing. I used to love this about Classic WoW, and it was a bit in Burning Crusade too. Is that some people instead of being a warrior or a mage, they could be a leatherworker or a blacksmith. I love that so much because it expands the way that you can play the game, and it gives people more.
Yeah, see the interaction both of them having. Pretty much just two dudes are talking about games that they love. Like they might not know each other in real life, face to face, but the connection they have in that the games bring to us as players, it's amazing. Just look on this.
Options and like progression paths. And yeah, I'm a huge supporter of like long form progression content or
That's
progression
pretty
content. 100%.
I'm super into the profession system. I think right now it's like
It's emergent
hinted
player
what it's going
behavior.
to be.
I can even give my example, man. I follow Asmongold a long time. I don't follow him that long, but what I've been seeing, he looks straight dude, man. Like dope ass dude. And yeah, connection that us players can have playing games with each other is out of this world. Is crazy, man.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what you want, man. Like, especially in a social sandbox game. Because, like, I played EVE for 15 years. Like, I'm a huge EVE nerd, right? And I came from that kind of world that's brutal as shit. And
What game?
social sandbox game? Because, like, I played EVE for 15 years.
Eve. Okay, I played a little bit. I was a little bit more on Elite Dangerous. But yeah, I played Eve too. From Elite Dangerous, I went to Star Citizen. I still have Star Citizen. I love the Andromeda ship, man. I love that ship, man. So man. And sometimes I jump on the game just to go around space and exploring the planets and all of the moons, and it's an amazing game, bro. It's an amazing game. I'm actually just by talking excited to play the game, man. It's really a amazing game. I actually remember last time I played the game, I was helping a new player, pretty much out of game. I knew a lot of things in the game, but one of the things I was trying to do was trying to go. It was on open space, so I was all on my ship. Went to the open space, and I went to um I don't know what the name of that. It was like a zone with a satellite over there, man. You need to hack that, and then after you hack it, you need to rob the place or something like that, and you need to move out of that before they shoot the alarm system or whatever. But I managed to actually get killed, So I got arrested, you know, and for the crime I committed, I had to wait 24 hours on the fucking jail, bro. So I was on the jail and I was tapping in chat, man. Man, this is my first time playing the game, and not the first time, but it was the first time that I actually was playing the game and went to jail. So I was trying to explain that, and man, it just it was a nice ball, man. A lot of people, man, come on, we're gonna save you, we're gonna save you, we're gonna plan. And on Star Citizen, you actually can run away from jail if you actually manage that, you know, to do that. You need help from other players. So they develop a whole full plan to actually come to save me and save the new player. And it was a crazy like 2 hours rescue. It was amazing, man. And I still have that those memories with me, man, because it was crazy, you know. Like I didn't know most of those dudes, you know. Like people came just to see a noob and average player. It was me, the average, uh, being rescued by the pros, and some of the average players just coming to actually see the thing. You know, it was crazy. I wish I could actually had um, streamed that because it was gonna be an awesome video. But yeah, man, actually gonna play that game tomorrow. If I actually manage to play the game tomorrow, I'll do a couple of videos for you guys and release over here on the channel Star Citizen. If you actually see this video, yeah, leave a comment if you guys want this. It's a really cool video. I can actually show you guys my ships, and yeah, man, we can actually explore the space. It's been like 4 months that I don't play the game, 5 months maybe. Um, but yeah, man, amazing. Yeah, let's keep going. I was going off.
Like I'm a huge Eve nerd, right?
Yeah.
And I came from that kind of world that's brutal as shit. And when I get into this, I see a lot of the failures that Eve had in terms of like area ownership, because there's this thing in Eve called sovereignty.
Yeah.
You can take a section of the map of the galaxy and you basically own it as your corporation or alliance, which is like a guild or an alliance of guilds.
Yeah,
right?
I've got like a rough
And you kill-
understanding, but yeah, okay, go ahead.
you kill basically everyone that comes in there that's not your guys, right?
Yeah, sure.
In this, you have these things called nodes. They're like towns, and those level up as anyone does anything in that zone of the game. So the town grows with you, and that already is really interesting. But unlike Sov and Eve, you can't exclude a small guild. You can't exclude a solo player. So
Well, you need
because
them to
everyone lives in
contribute
that
to the
town,
economy. Like that's my understanding is the nodes is so you have to make the nodes appealing to other people by having them contribute to the economy and like having taxes be fair, etc.
Exactly. So right now I'm the mayor of Halcyon on the Lyneth server, and we dropped the taxes to minimum. We focused our town on mount production. So we made all the facilities for people to be able to train and craft mounts. And now everybody goes in, they're like, oh, that's where you buy a Porsche. That's where you buy a Ferrari.
Yeah.
And it's cool because we have to spec into that, and we can't make our town do anything else in another direction, right?
Yeah.
So we have this like highly specialized system, and it has to rely on every other town's highly specialized systems in order for all of us to progress together. But we also have wars with each other. We go and fight. You can actually make siege weapons and go destroy other towns. That's the thing that I'm interested in most in this phase is the siege weapons coming out.
Oh,
I want to see how that works.
Did you see the big fight that they did with like the 250 players thing where they brought out like the trebuchets and like the catapults and like all this stuff? Oh my god,
Yeah,
it was amazing. I'm so excited for that.
We did like a caravan thing the other day, and I'm waiting for the servers to be able to handle like super large scale PvP, because right now you get kind of like distance limited vision, right? It's just, the render distance is just not very far, but we did about a 200. It's got to be like 150 people in that fight, and it was fun. Like it was really cool, and like we had some bugs and system problems where it was like we have a caravan, and the caravan makes a PvP zone around it, which is cool. And I invited everyone in the server to try and come kill me because we're the dominant force, right?
Yeah.
And they kind of formed up, and our guys formed up, and then they couldn't flag for PvP for the caravan because you have to get close to it. We're like, okay, everyone hold back. They all came up and flagged, and then they went away, and then we actually had a real battle. It was super fun, man. Like it was cool to do. And everybody was like cheering afterwards. We took photos. It was cool.
Well, that's what MMOs are supposed to be, right? And like you have like that's the emergent player behavior that systems like that are supposed to create happen, or like to like make happen. And if that's the way the game is going to be designed, I think that's what really keeps people engaged in it for a really long period of time. I think that classic WoW is like that. For example, like the Angoro, like the Angoro Crater Mafia, or like the way that people would farm Scarab Lord, or like all these other types of like emergent player behavior. That's the stuff that like really makes a game like Eve or any sandbox game. That's what keeps it alive, or also that's what kills it if it's not done properly.
I completely agree. And like those types of systems that they had in here, like I'll give you an example. We're fighting in this raid right now. I've got 17 people in the raid. We're about to kill the boss. Near the boss, there's 2 crafting tables. Those crafting tables create items that can only be crafted here. So you need to get a guy that has dedicated himself to metallurgy. And that dude is really hard into metallurgy. Like he is trained for that. You bring him in here, you keep him alive, and then you get him to that so he can start his crafts. And then you have to bring him in to go and get the crafts back out later. And that kind of stuff is really cool. It reminded me of like in Skullomance, where you could go and make flasks inside of Skullomance. Or BRD, same thing. Like That shit is rad, and I miss that for crafting because it makes a crafter into a utility piece.
It makes the game a world, right? And I feel like people say MMOs are dead now, but like if you think about how many of these shows have you watched like Overlord, Sword Art Online, any of that?
Yeah. I'm a huge fan, dude.
Of course. Yeah, so I have too. I've watched Log Horizon, every single one of them. It's like, if these shows are so fucking popular, why is it that people can't make a game that follow the paradigms in these shows? And I feel like if you watch these shows, the old original MMO paradigms, like what you're talking about, the BRD, or like going down to the bottom and having like this like maxed out blacksmith that's able to create this insane weapon, like that is all a narrative that people love to see. And it's something that people remember for like 10 or 20 years. So like, I feel like these isekai animes are like a really good benchmark of like where people really want to see dynamics and narratives in MMOs go.
I actually have an item on the screen if you want to see this.
I do. I'm watching. Yeah, weaponsmithing, quality experience rating. Yeah.
So these pants only drop in this dungeon, so you need to get these and then extract them back out to bring them to your crafters as well. You have all kinds of crazy items like this, and they can be upgraded with enchantments and all kinds of other stuff that you do. And they're not like they're not easy to get. Like this is, you bring a 16-man in to get a pair of pants for your guild weaponsmith, so you can gain advantage on the server because now you guys are the ones making the thing.
Oh, I remember hoping that New World would be this game.
That's dude. That's exactly. I remember when we first started playing this, and I was like, "Oh man, this is what New World was supposed to be."
Exactly. Yes, and it's like the alpha was like that. That's what it was. They changed it, and you even had the weaponsmithing stuff. It's like I was thinking. I remember there were specific weaponsmithing pants, but it's just it didn't turn out that way. And I feel like again, it's like the I feel like a lot of games are afraid to tell people no with certain things, and I think that's also that's going to be a huge point of contention with Ashes, and I feel like it's going to be massive. And I don't even believe that like now you only have the people that are like.
That's 100% true, man. I do feel like nowadays games actually have afraid to say no to players. That's 100% true.
Extremely invested, right? Literally hundreds of dollars. But like when you bring in those more casual players, I'm expecting to see a huge amount of people that are frustrated about that.
I think it's going to be one of those games where like a lot of people join and many of them fall off because EVE Online, right? You've got a
we always gonna have the problem of casual players, not be able to raise to the same level as a full-time gamer. Yeah, not too much else I can say about that.
You've got a more PvP oriented environment. You've got a difficult game. It's got something that is probably not going to be very interesting for people that don't have like a super long interest in something, like low attention span on stuff, things like that, because it takes time. Like you're not going to reach max level. You can't buy level 60. Like you have to go and fight this for a long time. Like getting 25 was a lot, man. Like that was a huge amount. That was with really good play and optimization too. So like if you're trying to do that, you're not doing that overnight. That's going to take a while. And even then, like if we look at my professions on this, I've really just done lumberjacking, carpentry, and
I'm seeing it.
a little bit of lumber milling. The rest of these I haven't even touched.
Yeah, alchemy 0. Yeah, weaving 0. I can see that. Yeah, I mean that's a huge amount of investment. And you said you put in a collective total of 500 hours, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a lot.
It's about 140 on this playthrough on this guy.
Okay. Yeah.
And like it's a shitload. And even then, that's also like you have to understand too.
Look, 500 hours, and he's looking like this. I do think I had like close to 400 on Throne of Liberty, and I was overcapping. That's a massive difference, man. That's good.
I have an advantage. I'm a mare, so I have a flying mount.
Like a stream, you got a guild,
going to have it.
100%.
And I've got a guild that can hand me items. This is with the streamer privilege that comes with that, right? So you've got time invested in this. It's not a get there overnight thing, which to be real with you, every level that I've gained has felt really good and satisfying because of that in a way that I haven't felt since Classic WoW.
Well, you know what really also proves this is Path of Exile 2. That game doesn't give you shit. And if you look if you look at the level of retention that it's had, it has been absolutely incredible. Like it is a level of retention that a live service game almost never has. And I think that it's because it actually does make things take a long time, but it doesn't do so in a, hey, we've decided to arbitrarily make this take longer so we can
Yeah. Path of PoE 2, Path of Exile 2. Yeah, 100%. Now, in the game of Path of Exile 2, and I'm talking from perspective of someone it's on maps. I've been running maps, tier 5, tier 6, couple ones. I didn't go above that, but for PoE 2, I still think it's a little bit on a low end game. They need a little bit more pump over them, but yeah, overall, I love the game.
extend your playtime metrics. And I think this is something that a lot of people want, is like a form of long-form content that's not just basically do the exact same thing 400 times.
That's not pay to win. People are tired of pay to win things. Hopefully they are, because I am.
Yeah, we've made a lot of jokes about it too. Of like, it feels like you got Isekai when you play this game. It feels like you're in there. Your reputation matters. Like you're in this world, and the only thing that matters is your word and how people perceive
Like
you.
classic
And
WoW.
we have enemies. Yeah, we have enemies on the server. We've got other rivals that that don't like us. We've got a guild that fights against us all the time. Like this is a pretty normal thing for us. And like, I love that, dude. I'm in it for that. In fact, we cause a lot of conflict on the server because the caravan system.
I was doing the same thing on Throne of Liberty. Man, I still not gonna buy it, but this conversation is making me biased towards the game. I don't like that.
Fully in. One of the things about caravans is you blow up a guy's caravan, he loses that caravan, man. So what we do is we blow up caravans and then we sell the parts back to people.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
They're just making
Get them
parts,
coming and going.
and they're buying them after we blow them up. You know, like that's kind of how it works, right? And I actually love that. I think that ends up allowing us to play a role on the server. We could be a villain. That's why our guild is named Actual Pirates. It's not a joke. We are, right? And that kind of stuff is really, really fun, and you can get into the role play of it and actually enjoy it. And I've seen that so many times in different ways. Like we've had people that play a town fool. We've had people that are like the mount salesman, guys who are like the giga fishermen on the server, and like it's neat to see that kind of diversity in play where it actually matters to your gameplay and you can have meaning inside of the game systems.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's what people have been waiting for an MMO. And like people have hoped that, Lost Ark would be that game. They hope that Throne of Liberty would be the game or New World.
Dude, I did too.
Well, I mean,
I've got 1,000 hours in New World. I've got almost 1,000 hours in Lost Ark. I love those games.
Me too.
Me too. They just weren't what I wanted them to be at the end. And then I got into this and I was like, here we go again. And I was like, no, this is great. Like, I'm in, right? And I've just been having a blast with it.
Well, that's awesome,
cool.
man. Yeah,
look at this. Tanks can do this, by the way.
It's like in Final Fantasy. I think Warriors do the same thing. Limit Break 3.
Yeah, they throw up. This is like one of their cooldowns, and we use it all the time when we're fighting caravans because the caravan's trying to escape.
Yeah, that's so badass.
Nope. Just drop a wall in front of them.
So like it's an interactable wall. It's not just like an animation.
Oh no, it's fully collision. Like you can't go through that. Okay. Yeah, it's hilarious, dude. You can climb on it and everything. It's awesome.
Oh god, I'm gonna have to start playing again. I'm gonna have to level up to 5 or 10 off stream and then maybe try to get into it, man. Yeah, I mean,
as a mayor, this is kind of the stuff that I have to do here. But
just by talking with this dude that actually is playing the game, he already excited to play the game. You can see, man, he's missing out, bro. He's missing out, bro. He's gonna do some cool streams, man. Thanks to this dude conversation, bro. See the link of players is amazing.
By the way, if you haven't seen the I don't know if you have yet.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know if I'd want to be a mayor. Like I've seen some of the I was a guild leader for many years, and it's like, oh man, it's great to have somebody else just do everything.
So one of the things I can do with this is if you look at this, I'm the guy creating quests for people. So I can choose which ones we want them to do. And I'm like, hey, I want everybody to go kill skeletons. We pay 5 gold from the node, and then they get this quest, and everyone gets that available to them.
Do they function? This functions the exact same way as the was it guild or like the town boards in New World, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's
But as the mayor, I'm selecting which quests they get. And then also you can do another one for the crafters. If you look over here, this is like we do a buyback order and then a buy order. And it's like we need to produce quality weapons so we can upgrade one of our buildings for the whole server. And in order to produce that, I need you guys to turn in these materials. So we put up a buy order, they go and send those items in and they get the material back out. They get node currency and they can buy upgrades and shit with that. And like this is pretty bare bones right now.
Yeah.
But the next upgrade we're doing is animal husbandry.
That's amazing, man. Huh. That's amazing, bro. Man. I'm still keeping away from those 110, but I'm gonna keep a little bit of better focus on what Ashes of Creation is bringing. Keep tuned
to do the next tier up of mounts.
Oh, the mounts.
And like, yeah, so the server can produce them. Yep. Yeah. But since they're producing it in our town, we get the tax money, and I can't steal that as a mayor. So there's no like bullshit from a mayor stealing it. It goes into our node. Our node is very rich. We can do things with it. Right. And we always have commissions running because of that, because they cost gold. So like these types of systems are really compelling, and that's the stuff you get to do as a mayor. Yeah. In payment back, you get the flying mount, and like that's basically how they go.
So it's like in a way, like I mean, that's part of like you have your own profession as being a mayor, right? That's like its own metagame in itself.
Oh yeah. And I have spreadsheets for everything. I have to sit down and figure out what resources are available on the server, where everybody else's progression is, what is even possible.
So for what did I want to say? I forgot. No. Okay. So for what I understood, not everybody can actually fly in the game like he's doing here. That's a shame. That shit looks pretty dope.
And then we work out the plan for the week, and then I put all those buy orders and everything on, so they're all just kind of set up that way.
Oh jeez, yeah.
Poor guy's down there alone, and he's flying up here.
It is work. But I love that because I played Eve, right?
Yeah, right. No, I mean, I was a guild leader for many years. I don't know if I'd be willing to do it again, but man, it was a lot.
He's gonna do it.
Of work, but it's rewarding too because the flying mount does look really fucking cool.
I think the thing I'm looking forward to the most is the node variety for mayors, because like right now everybody just votes for it, right? You just vote to see who's the biggest mayor or whatever. But they've got these other ones going in, like Scientific is how that works. But they've got one like divine nodes where you have to be like doing pious quests, and whoever does that is like the most divine. And then the martial nodes are like you PvP for it, so whoever's the most badass in PvP becomes the mayor. Yeah. And then the economic node is you buy it with gold, so whoever's like the trade baron becomes the mayor. And I'm interested in seeing how those play out, because it means that a streamer like me can't just win. Yeah, right. Exactly. To be real, in a Scientific node, I'm just going to win. We vote. We have more people voting for me. That's how that's
everybody vote for me, and then okay, well I'm the mayor now. Great game.
And I love that there are other varieties of leadership that stop streamer privilege from allowing that, even though I have that. I love to see that is.
Well, it's good to have one with streamer privilege too, right? It's just a straight up vote, because it's like every type of gameplay is valid. And that's what makes MMO special. That's what I think people want, is like a living, breathing world that has texture and actual like variety to it, rather than.
And I think that's what players are missing out on some large scale games, like Lost Ark, New World, Warframe, First Descendant, a bunch of them are like Throne of Liberty, Black Desert, all of those type of games, even PoE, man. We are missing this. Most players, the grind, it's not a problem. It's as long as the player feels that he's working towards a big objective, like over here, for what I understand, as long as you work towards your node, even if you're a solo player, for what is actually said, you will actually contributing towards your node, and you're doing things that's going to give you materials, weapons, money, and all of that, so you feel like you're a bigger part of a bigger world. Let's say you live on this side of the map, like small edge over here, and you work towards farming around this forest over here, man, and you're building whatever place they have the nodes, and you feel like you're growing. Yeah, man.
And everything being like this uniform theme park experience that's hyper defined. You're on rails, you can't go off them.
Yeah, I always feel like theme park MMOs, they start off kind of broad, you have a lot of options available to you, and then as you get closer to the end game, it just thins out until you have one lane of content left. And then social sandbox MMOs work in exactly the reverse. You start off with not being able to do anything, nobody knows you, you have no name to you, and then by the end of the game, you're like, you could be very well known, you have a ton of options available to you, and it just keeps expanding outwards, which makes it, it just makes it super compelling for me. That's why I like those more. And I've just been a fan of them ever since. I think that's when I bounced off was Albion, because I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, that game it's still really popular. It's got like such a strong audience, but I never really played it myself either.
Yeah, I got into it a little bit, and then I was like, I could just be playing Eve, and then now I've quit Eve. So
I think a lot of people have. I feel like that game's kind of fallen off just for different various reasons.
It's just too much pay to win. I think that was the biggest thing for me when they introduced what are called skill injectors. You could just buy experience for your character with no real money, and I was like, dude, I'm out. Like, I just can't do this anymore. And like,
pay to win is the worst shit in moving game, man. It's awful, man.
Weird game.
With this having the promise of no pay to win, I think if they ever introduced pay to win in this, they'd lose everything.
Yeah.
And they know that.
Oh,
and
100%.
I think even things like WoW selling like the $90 mount and shit like that have been really a big turnoff for me.
But for the way I actually saw Steve talking about the fucking hates pay to win, man, like I hate that shit.
So seeing the way that it's weird, and it sucks because it feels like you're buying status, you're buying power in that way, even if it's just a mount, right? Because everyone looks at the mount, they're like, look at that thing. And with this, they're selling skins for the mount. So like mounts have speed on them. And like you have to breed a good mount if you're gonna move. Like this one has 140% speed.
Sure.
But if you have a shitty mount, you're slow. And you would be like, oh, I'll just buy a mount off the store, right? But no, they're selling a skin, so you can't even buy a faster mount. You buy your mount, but looking different. Which I was like, okay, man, you got me with that. That's great.
It's just like
you can buy power that way.
I mean, they've got to make money somehow, right? And like I get it. And if they're gonna do something like
if you go see like Warframe, they sell skins, cosmetics, all of that is fine to me, man. And if you go and you play Black Desert, Throne of Liberty, man, pay to win things, bro. It's just awful, man. I don't like it. It's one thing I don't like. I hate pay to win.
Like that, I would much rather that than a lot of the other alternatives.
Yep.
So yeah,
I agree.
I totally agree.
I super agree. And I think that's the thing with me, man, is
even the first Descender has pay to win. I like the game, but
like I have felt, I guess the basic way to do it is, as a developer, I understand where they're at. Yeah. As a player, I feel like my purchase was respected, and then my time is respected. And I feel like the game is compelling for me systems-wise. So like for me, it's a perfect storm of positivity here.
Yeah, I feel like that's the dream, right? I just really hope it happens. And it's sad to see people that are skeptical or negative, but I think that's what's going to happen with any game. But I just hope that I mean, again, take a break for a year or two if people feel that way and come back, and it'll still be there.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy it, man. And I hope you're able to get into it. I saw what happened when you first started. By the way, you can't
really fun
you
time.
can't be people in that zone now. They've got the flag.
Steven told me, yeah. It's just like, yeah, he's like, yeah, this is a very big problem. Okay, yeah, no, I will probably try it out and maybe play a little bit myself. Because like after all this conversation and everything about it, I've been watching you play and other people, it's like, it actually looks pretty good. And so, yeah, maybe I'll have to try it out. But yeah, go ahead.
Have you seen the actual talent trees yet?
I'm looking at them right now. You're showing me.
All the weapons have a talent tree.
Oh, yes, I did see that. Yeah, I remember when they announced that, and I just went crazy. It's like, are you kidding me? It's amazing.
Yeah, dude, like, I'm a mage wielding a spell bow, which is already like, I've never seen that with a mage. Like, you're actually casting through a bow, which is wild.
Like Dragon's Dogma, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, like very much so. And it actually adds magical pens. So like the enemy's MR is dropped based on me having a bow on. And it's just a weird iconic look.
Yeah.
It's pretty rad.
Yeah, no,
so I've been really liking that.
Especially the way that people can make their own classes and like define the way that they're going to play. I think that's a huge component.
Yeah, we don't have subclasses yet. I'm really waiting for that. And like I just keep memeing about it because I'm like, mage is the best class, so I'm just gonna go mage.
Mage, like archmage or like wizard or something.
Yeah, exactly. I'm excited for it. But there's the other one that I was really interested in is like a summoner in May, like phase 3 when they said that. And they have Summoner Tank, which is like a Broodmancer, or Brood Warden, and you cover yourself in beetles for armor, which is insane.
Oh my god.
So like just weird shit. Right?
Yeah.
So like I'm interested to see how they play that out because so far the classes have been very compelling and they work well together. Not like I guess in WoW retail you kind of have this isolated lane of you just do damage and your damage is what matters and your rotation is what matters and everything outside of that kind of doesn't. There's very few crossovers between other classes.
Well, you saw did you see what happened when they brought out Augmentation Evoker and like how much drama that caused? Because like this is exactly what you're talking about, right? How like you don't have support classes or ancillary classes. You just have each class kind of effectively being a mage. Like a warlock is a mage that shoots shadow balls, and a shaman is a mage that shoots lightning balls. Is that basically kind of what you're saying? And there's like no real actual dynamic difference. Yeah, 100%.
Exactly, and it's like it all comes out to just damage, and they don't play off each other. And like one of the things that I noticed really early on is you have not enough talent points to be able to pull off all of the combos, and not enough cast speed to pull off a perfect combo either. So you have to work with others. So in this case, I can freeze an enemy using Frostbolt on it and then Cone of Cold, which advances chilled into frozen. If an enemy is frozen and gets hit with your lightning, you shatter it and do bonus damage. So what we'll do is we'll rotate between the different mages of who's applying the frost right now. I'll hit with my lightning, I'll hit with my frost, you hit with your lightning, and you're playing off of each other all the time. But also, fighters play off that. So when an enemy is frozen, the fighters can do an extra thing. When an enemy is burning, a cleric can actually combust them. So you play off of so many different classes that it's not even about your personal performance. It's about everyone working together and communicating, which I'm really liking that because it reminds me of Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2
it's so weird for me because like coming from somebody who used to be like a massive like parsing, like I used to try to do like, oh, I'm gonna get the highest parse in like this WoW fight or something. And I've kind of changed my stance on it to where now I'm actually kind of glad that they're not doing damage meters. Because like people can actually focus on like their input and the way that they enhance the experience of the group rather than trying to like assign a value to it and then say, well, because my number is bigger than yours, I'm a better player. Because like I mean exactly. Yeah, it's like you've rated and like you know that the person who's sometimes doing like the annoying job, this person is doing more work than everybody else. Like in classic WoW, like Razor Gore, like moving the boss around and killing all the eggs, like that's a separate job, but you're not going to be on the meter for it, and it like creates a level of gameplay. And once you have that meter, though, it totally contrives the way that people value everything.
Yeah, it's the same thing like I'm playing a mage in Hardcore Classic, and I'm going to be the winner's chill mage. So my DPS is just going to be less, but everyone else's is more because of me. Right. And like, I love those types of interactions, and this has probably the most that I've seen from a combat system in a while. And I actually leveled up my mage to max, and I started leveling a ranger today. I was just blown away by it. It's fun as hell.
Oh, so yeah. All right. I got to play it. All right. You got me. Yeah, you got me.
And the thing is like, for anybody on the fence about it, dude, maybe it sucks in the end. Right? Maybe it doesn't suck in the end. But right now, this shit is really fun.
Oh,
and like, I can't ask more than that.
Yeah,
right?
I hate the idea. Like, oh, what if it's bad in 3 years? I don't know. I'll deal with it in 3 years. Yeah, I'll think about it.
In 3 years, if it sucks, then it'll suck in 3 years.
Yeah,
right
wow.
now, it's great.
Imagine only having fun for 3 years. Yeah. But yeah,
exactly.
Man. Anyway, I do really appreciate you coming on and talk about it. I promised everybody I'd play Balatro today, so I'm gonna probably go do that in just a little bit. Yeah, it'll be my first time. Yeah, but yeah, thanks a lot for coming on and talking about it. And if I do log in, I will absolutely let you know.
All right, yeah, rock on, dude. And I hope you have fun in Balatro. That game kicks ass. It's rad.
All right, awesome, man. I'll see you later.
All right, see ya.
Peace. Actually, it's probably one of the first times I talked to Thor. Yeah, Thor, what a good guy. I've always really liked Thor. He's been great. And yeah, huge shout out to Pirate Software. Great guy, absolute W guy. Yeah, dope stream. Yeah, we've been cooking, man. We've been playing a lot. I'll watch like maybe one thing, guys, and then I want to move on, and we're gonna try and play the game, okay? Because I know a lot of you guys have been asking it for it, and
Hey, it looks like it's the end. 46 to 49, 3 more seconds. But yeah, we'll stop over here. I could not stop to comment anything at the end. They were blasting with the conversation. I was having fun listening, so yeah, I could not interrupt that, man. It's amazing when you actually see two players actually speaking about something they actually love. That's at the end playing games, and as players, that's the goal. Playing a game should be the main focus point. But nowadays, you go on this any type of games. Like I will give an example. The first Descendant or Warframe, you go on chat. Most of what you see on the chat, trash talking, to each other. man, that's not the point, you know. But regardless of that, that doesn't matter now. Amazing, amazing, great video from Asmongold. Um, I love his content. He's an amazing Twitch streamer. If you actually see over here, let me see if I can. Oh, he's overcapping everybody else, man. It's amazing. 43K. Oh, you can actually see his name over there, man. So you guys already know his name, Zach War, Zach Craw, overcapping everybody, pretty much. Yeah, dope streamer. Um, follow Asmongold TV on YouTube. Go subscribe to him. Anybody that actually saw and watches these videos, um, it was a reaction video, first time I actually do, I think, on the channel. Not 100% sure. I think I did another one. Can't remember now. But yeah, um, for the length of this video, 3 hours and something, 3 hours and a half. Yeah, the first one. But yeah, we'll end over here. Like always, leave a like if you want. If you don't want, it's a free world. Subscribe and like always, take care of yourself and the ones you love. I will see you on the next episode and see ya.